Thank you and good morning for joining me today on the Community Ledger. I wanted to jump on here today because I needed to do an interview and address this interview Miss Kamala Harris did with Shannon Sharpe, Club Shay Shay. And so I watched the bulk of the interview. I didn't do completely all of it because I can only stomach so much, to be perfectly honest with you. But I did watch a lot of it, and I wanted to share some clips so that we can go over a lot of the details. I think he had her on there so that they could kind of clear up some misinformation in regards to who she is and what she stands for. And so I intend to do the same. I'm going to go over some of the pieces that I thought were incredibly important and that the public need to be aware of. And then we'll kind of go from there. So I got my cup of coffee. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
Woo! So Cat Williams spoke the truth early in 2024. He told him, he said, race is not where you draw the line. This is about God's side and that other side, okay? Man, this election is not just no regular election, okay? This thing is spiritual and the truth is the light. And so we're about to get into it today. We're going to get to the truth. So hang in there.
We used to say, I'm Donald Trump of the ghetto, because he was, for a lot of blacks, not all, but for some blacks, he was, Madam VP, whether we want to admit it or not, he's revered by some blacks.
But here's the thing. The question for everybody, should he be president of the United States?
Okay.
Right? That's the question. Should he have the ability to sit behind the seal of the President of the United States when he says he wants to terminate the Constitution of the United States? You know what that would mean? In the Constitution of the United States is your Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable search and seizure, your Fifth Amendment right, your Sixth Amendment right to an attorney.
Well, a lot of rights going to be gone. The First Amendment.
But the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. Yes. Look, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I don't believe we should be taking anybody's guns away.
Now, Kamala, come on now. Come on now. He wants to do away with the Constitution? Oh, is that right? Because if memory serves me correctly, you didn't get a single vote. How did that happen? How did that happen? But I digress. He wants to do away with the Constitution. He wants to do away with First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, all that jazz. Well, Kamala, we know that's not true. He created Truth Social specifically for the purpose of being able to practice his First Amendment right without censorship, right? Because during COVID, everyone was being censored on social media. Remember that? They even created a misinformation czar who was supposed to just oversee all of social media and shut down everything that they didn't like and that they didn't want to hear. Actually, John Kelly, about 2 weeks ago, came on and said the First Amendment is what's keeping them from, I would just say, total domination. Okay, the First Amendment is what's allowing people to be able to spread all this information on the internet, and they don't like that. They don't like that, right? So it's Kamala and this Biden administration and all her Democratic cronies who are trying to dismantle the Constitution. They're trying to do away with that First Amendment. They're trying to do away with election cycles. And they're trying to do away with that Second Amendment. Now, Kamala has always had the desire of taking your guns away. Now, all of a sudden, in 2024, Oh, I'm not taking nobody guns away. I own a gun. I own a Glock. I would never do that. Well, I got a few clips that say something a little different. Let's check it out.
California Senator Kamala Harris says if she becomes president, she will take what her campaign calls executive action to combat gun violence. She made those comments during a CNN town hall Monday night. Here's some of what she said.
Upon being elected, I will give the United States Congress 100 days to get their act together and have the courage to pass reasonable gun safety laws. And if they fail to do it, then I will take executive action. And specifically what I will do is put in place a requirement that for anyone who sells more than 5 guns a year, they are required to do background checks when they sell those guns. I will require that for any gun dealer that breaks the law, the ATF take their license. And by the way, ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Well, the ATF has been doing a lot of the A and the T, but not much of the F. And we need to fix that. And then on the third piece, because none of us have been sleeping over the last 2 years, part of what has happened under the current administration is they took fugitives off the list of prohibited people. I put them back on the list, meaning that fugitives from justice should not be able to purchase a handgun or any kind of weapon. Because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible.
Now, did you hear that? Did you hear that? She said that just because you have a gun does not mean that the government cannot come in, knock on your door, and verify you're handling your gun in the manner in which we see fit. This woman's desire is to create a task force that will come knock on your door and say, open up your shit. I want to make sure you handling it in the manner in which I see fit. And you already know how that's going to go. If you're not abiding by all these rules and regulations, if you got one too many bullets, if you don't have the safety on, if it's not this many feet above a child, if it's not in this kind of lockbox, run me your shit. Run me your shit. You know how that's going to go. But Donald Trump wants to dismantle the Constitution? But Donald Trump wants to dismantle the Constitution? Last I checked, that infringes on my constitutional rights.
Google Project 2025.
Yeah.
He would get rid of the $35 a month cap on insulin. We know how many of our seniors had it. I'll give you another example of why Donald Trump has not earned the support of folks to be president of the United States. Basically, somebody who has never been understanding of the issues that affect the community about disparities. And I'm going to talk, for example, about how when he was a landlord, he denied rent to black families. Mm-hmm. You look at what he did in terms of taking out a full-page ad in the New York Times against the Central Park Five, which were a bunch of, they're not young adults, they were teenagers, black and brown teenagers. Took out a full-page ad on in the New York Times calling for their execution for crimes they did not commit. They were innocent.
Ooh, this is my favorite part. Ooh, I love this. I love when they bring up Central Park 5. Now listen, I'm no apologist for Trump. I'm not going to say that putting out an ad in a magazine asking for them to bring back the death penalty for young children, for men who committed a crime or what he thought committed a crime at the time, is justifiable. I am 100% not excusing that, period. And personally, I do think that he owes not only the black community, but the Central Park Five an apology. That's where I stand. However, Trump was a citizen at the time. He was not a politician. He was not a prosecutor, and he didn't have any real authority in regards to what happened to those young men. Like most citizens, he thought they were guilty. the news had perpetuated the lie that they had given confessions and that they had admitted their guilt. We now know that that was all propaganda and that was not the truth. Thus, the reason I think it would be good for him and good for his legacy if he go ahead and apologize. Now, what I never, ever, 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 ever hear anybody mention is the fact that the prosecutor, the lead prosecutor in that case, Linda Fairstein, was the one who was gung-ho about convicting those young men, in spite of all the evidence that proved they did not did it. Thus, they were eventually exonerated. However, now, Miss Kamala did the same thing. Yes, Linda Fairstein was a prosecutor in New York at the time, but Miss Kamala was a prosecutor in California. And so I want to put up the pictures and tell the story of Mr. Jamal Truelove. Yes, that was the young man who was charged of murder, who was innocent, who was given 50 years to life and laughed. She laughed in the courtroom when he was handed down his conviction and his sentencing and was later exonerated. The man was innocent. He sued the state of California and won over $13 million. She was the prosecutor in that case. Let's not talk about Jose Diaz. That's another man who was innocent, okay? He was convicted of rape. Oh, I apologize. He was convicted of sexual assault. This gentleman served 9 years before he was exonerated. And after he was exonerated and after he was found guilty, Miss Kamala, the prosecutor at the time, tried to make sure that he couldn't get any money from the state. She fought tooth and nail to make sure that this man, who was found innocent by the court of law and exonerated and freed from prison, could not get money from the state. Ooh, and she went a step further. She wanted to make sure that his name stayed on the sex offender list. Let that marinate for a minute. Man goes to prison, spend 9 years, found innocent, released, awarded money from the state, and you want to make sure that his name stays on the sex offender list. But she want to talk to me about Trump putting out an ad about the Central Park 5? Trump didn't have the authority to do what you did. You were the one that did it. Okay? I will never be an advocate or a supporter of anybody who has the authority to lock somebody up and throw away the key knowing that they're innocent. And even after they're exonerated, do what you can to ruin their life. And that's what you, Miss Kamala, did as a prosecutor. That's what you did. And you want us to forget that. I'm not forgetting that. See, there's a difference between words and actions. That 5-page ad that Trump put out, those were words. Those 2 men who were found guilty and then later found innocent and exonerated, those were actions. And Kamala has already told you many times before that she is fully aware of the power she holds in her pen. That at any moment in time, she can convict you, charge you of minimal crimes, and destroy your life. And then a week later, throw it out for fun. So you can't talk to me about Trump and the Central Park 5 if we're not going to mention Jamal Truelove and Mr. Jose Diaz. But I'll let you continue.
What we need to do to not only retain the cap that we got on insulin at $35 a month for seniors. By the way, black folks are 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes.
Correct.
He wants to get rid of it with that Project 2025. Everybody needs to check that out.
Ooh, like I said, the layups are plentiful. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. She said, I need people to go home and Google Project 2025. Girl, that's exactly what I did months ago. So I already know that Project 2025 has nothing to do with Trump. Literally nothing. A think tank by the name of the Heritage Foundation is the one that created Project 2025. And the Heritage Foundation has been creating these type of policies for every administration since the Reagan administration, okay? Heritage Foundation was founded in 1973, okay? They created the same concept for Reagan, same concept for Bush, Clinton, Obama. Even for Obama, the Heritage Foundation had the desires to create what we consider now Medicare or medical for all. They created that. They established that. And they gave that proposal to Obama. Now, coincidentally, Obama created the Affordable Care Act. But that initial idea came from the Heritage Foundation, which is in control of Project 2025. However, Trump has already stated, I'm not responsible for 2025. And I don't have any plans on implementing anything that is in Project 2025. The president of the Heritage Foundation has come out and stated such. Yet, they continue and continue and continue to push those talking points. And it's just simply not true. So I'm going to leave this video with this. This isn't just any regular election. This is spiritual. There are layers to this, okay? Everything she spoke about in this video, we addressed her plans for businesses, small businesses. And I forgot to even mention, she talks about small businesses and wanting to help small businesses because they are the strength and the backbone of our communities, but completely disregarded the strength and the backbone of our communities, which are Black women, Black mothers, when she was locking them up for truancy. Ignore that. Ignore that. This election is serious. Now listen, I'm not telling you to go run out and vote for Trump. I did. That is my choice. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for. There are others on the ballot, okay? There's Kamala, there's Trump, there's Cornel West in some states, Jill Stein, whoever. But voting for this woman is a freaking big deal. She is evil, okay? Evil. And she will go on any platform and lie to your face. And Cat Williams called Shannon Sharpe out on it. He said, I don't know why people feel so comfortable coming to your platform and lying in your face, because he didn't gave them a platform to do so. He rolls out the red carpet and allows them to sit there and lie in your face. And Kamala said, you know what? I'm going to take full advantage of that. I'm going to go do the same. And so what I'm telling you is, don't take it from me. Look it up. Please do your research. Look it up. This is a spiritual war. This is not just a regular election, okay? It's between God and them folk. And so you're going to have to pick a side. And that is why I believe you see so many Black people specifically moving away from the Democratic Party, because we spiritual people. We have the gift of discernment. We can see between the lines. We can see through the lies. And all I'm asking is, if you are at this moment in time and you are still undecided, do the same. Do the research. Read between the lines. Look beyond the veil, because all of it's an illusion. Everything that this party is talking about right now is an illusion. Like I said, we talked about business, we talked about stimulus checks, and we talked about Trump and the Central Park Five. We didn't even get to the LGBTQ. We didn't even get to late stage abortion. We didn't even get to the butchering and the transgender surgeries for children. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? This is not just an irregular election. This is a big deal. So please do your research and govern yourselves accordingly. Again, thank you so much for spending this moment in time with me on the Community Ledger. I am new to the platform, and I ask that you please just go ahead and push that button and subscribe. I need all the love I can get so that I can continue on this journey and continue to share this truth with you all. Again, thank you. My name is Drea Banu, and this is the Community Ledger.